back. Saints Block Party podcast. No longer hashtag Saints Twitter podcast. And thank God for that for a myriad of reasons as we record this on our early Saturday morning, coffee in hand.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm just going to start off the gate and just say if if you're not a Patreon or a YouTube member, like the time to become one is now. Patreon.com/Slankspock Party. You can start at $1 a month. YouTube, you can have a YouTube membership as low as $4.99 a month, is the lowest that it starts. Because at this point, I have no idea how long Twitter will be a functional. Like
Really
it
don't.
hasn't been functional for like an actual functional social media app anymore. No clue, no clue,
Dumpster fire, bro. I'm holding on by like a thin thread.
bruh.
Straight nostalgia reasons.
That's it. That's it. Like the blue sky like transition we've tried. Like we just the our fan base isn't really there. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But we're back. Wolf and I, Adam here with Wolf. We took a little. I mean, here's the funny thing. If you are a Patreon already or a YouTube member, you know that we really didn't take a vacation because 2 weeks ago we had that week of insane content where we recorded with Mina Kimes, we recorded with Greg Cosell, we recorded with Mike Detillier, we recorded with Jane Slater, but we decided not to release all those episodes all at once because we didn't want to, oversaturate content. However, for those who are Patreons, who are YouTube members, those people have already been able to listen to those episodes. So the Greg Cosell episode just released this week. So if you haven't caught that episode, make sure you catch it. The Jane Slater episode is coming out on Monday, and then Tuesday, ESPN's Catherine Terrell will be coming on the pod. Uh, so we're back in the swing of things, but we wanted to kind of take a little, give ourselves a little break because that week was
Much needed too.
much needed. Yeah, absolutely. For for us, for our partners, for
Yeah.
everything, for everything. But if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you
Please
have
hit
your
it.
those notifications. You know those notifications where we go live when we post new content. Make sure those all those notifications are up. But OTAs, Ryan, Saints had their first week of OTAs and
Football is
um,
back.
back. The schedule. We did our schedule release episode, and we're almost in June. And honestly, like in a couple of months, like week one's gonna be here right around the corner, bro. Like
Ooh, shit. Already? Dang.
already, bro. It's like that dead period of when they break from OTAs or actually like it's mandatory mini camp to training camp. Like there's that dead period, and then it's boom, boom, boom,
And it's
boom,
on. It's
on.
on after that, boy. Once training camp kick off, it's
You already know.
once you get past that first preseason game, you be like, okay, preseason. Then you see that, then you realize like, damn, preseason sucks. And then it's like, boom, on to
Yes,
like week
yes.
one. Just
But very interesting nuggets that came out of the first week of OTAs. I feel like I think we know what the big story is in terms of like kind of like the shuffles on the O line, but I think even the bigger in a way the bigger story is the Jake Hayner news to me is
mm,
the oblique injuries. So
mm.
Jake Hayner, it was reported, I don't know, a couple of days ago by Adam Schefter. He hurts his oblique in in OTAs, and it's significant to me because it was on our radar so much last year of how much of a whole debacle of not naming who the quarterback two is and backup quarterback and all that.
Absolute debacle.
And people were like, "Oh, it doesn't matter who the backup quarterback is. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter." And then Derek Carr proceeds to like miss multiple games last season. So it actually matters for every team who your backup.
And not only that, and Ross Jackson, shout out to Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints. He's been talking about it, even in his recent podcast, that DA, before he got fired, he was fumbling the quarterback, the number 2 quarterback issue, because even while Derek Carr was injured, he was making Hayner and Rattler split reps during the week before naming the starter each week, like before that Tampa game, before the Chargers game, and all that.
Oh my God, Ryan! What a fucking idiot, bro.
It took Rizzo to come in. It's like, okay, like after the Jake Hayner experiment against the Washington Redskins, Commanders. I keep doing that. I've seen enough. But yeah, man, the Hayner injury, interesting, because one thing it does is like it just opens up another few slots for more reps for Shough and Rattler.
That's it. Like, and basically the reports, his oblique, and it's gonna pretty much keep him out until training camp.
Yeah.
But if he wasn't, and we assumed that Jake Hayner was behind the 8 ball, because if you just kind of just watch that Commanders game, but if he wasn't behind the 8 ball now, he most absolutely definitely is now. And I'm not trying to like celebrate his injuries. That's not what I'm doing. No. But I'm trying to put into context that the bigger thing is that the reps and the snaps that potentially, because I feel like at the beginning they were going to try to be like, oh, Jake Hayner's part of the competition too. Like,
yeah, you do. Hey, don't forget about Jake. Forget about Jake.
Now they could be like, they could make it like, all right, now let the big boys play. Like let the actual competition come to fruition. And
go ahead. No, I was about to say, and another very underrated story, Ryan, is the Decker kid, who with immediate glance you're like, oh, just some camp body to come in, but this is a kid that has some talent. He was a highly rated coming out of high school, committed to Iowa State, started at Iowa State, got popped for gambling, stupid, idiotic, like just dumb stuff.
The gambler,
and he got banned by the NCAA. Like he was out. He had to play JUCO for the rest of his college career, but did enough to show that, like, he could get on a team in the NFL, which is something. Like to go from JUCO to an NFL team is something. Yeah. And he is talented. So like him, like Jake Hayner being out and letting him just slide in there, get them, man. Listen.
Both you and Bunch was joking about it in our Discord, saying, man, Jake saw how Rattler and Shough was throwing that ball.
Bruh. Because, like, how you blow a oblique in OTAs, bro? OTAs.
Coach, them niggas throwing out there, coach.
I'm saying, them boys got hoses, all of them in there. Like, Decker, too. Like, all 3 of them got hoses. So, it stands out even more now. If you Jake Hayner, you like, damn. I'm in this thing, and he's just like, pew, pew, pew. You
Black Widow. Against Thanos, bro. I remember that in-game trailer, bro. What Black Widow gonna do?
What you gonna do, Blaze? Sit down. Go sit down.
You don't put that work in. You got one good round in. You trying to get it up for that second round. Come on.
That's good enough.
That was Jake doing OTAs. Come on, can I get it?
That don't bleak out, bro. And that's like your core muscles and all that stuff,
man. Giovanni Martinez, shout out to Giovanni, who I believe, remember correctly, is a recently new Patreon. I think you still need the Discord link, because I think you were asking about it. It says, we're going to talk about this. The Saints may have walked into a legit O-line. Probably the biggest strength of the team, honestly. We'll talk about that when we talk about the changes, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. Michael Morgan, a $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Michael. Good morning. Appreciate the content, as always. Michael
Thank you.
Morgan said, I really don't think Rattler had the chance. Kellen Moore, like tall, big quarterbacks. I mean, I think that's the next thing we could talk about is we've re- listen, we've reported on this podcast. I've said it, and I'm sure Kellen, to maybe some degree, has a preference because he drafted Tyler Shough, right? That like
No
he
question.
hand selected him, but the fact that Mickey Loomis has his whole elbow in the gumbo, right? And really wants Tyler Shough to be the starter week one. One, as a Saints fan, should be very, very concerning for you. But we only so the media only got access to see one OTA practice of the 3 days of the first week of OTAs, and that was on Thursday. So we don't know what Tuesday looked like. We don't know what Wednesday looked like. We can only go by what Thursday looked like, and that was just one report, 1 day of practice. Um, yes, Michael, Mickey wants Tyler to start. We reported it. If you go back and you listen to our episode, our emergency podcast we did when Derek Carr retired, which was a couple of weeks ago, we reported it then, so you can go back and listen to that one. Um, we talked about it even after Shough got drafted, though. Say whatever you want to say about Rattlers last season. No, he didn't. No, he did not win a game as a starter. He had plenty of bad moments, low light moments, all that. That 1 year of experience NFL, playing in the NFL, that absolutely matters. So when again, it's OTAs. So I
That's
want to
it.
put that. I want to keep putting that in context. OTAs. We're not running home and making telltale statements. But it's not surprising at all that Rattler looks ahead of Tyler Shough because in theory, he should look ahead of Tyler Shough because he has a year of experience in the NFL. For this to be a real quarterback competition, this has to essentially play out, and he has to like Rattler's going to have to play 150% better than Tyler Shough in training camp, in preseason games. It can't be close for
Right.
him to have a legit chance of starting week one, in my opinion, from everything that I've heard. Like you can't even it can't even be a squint. It has to be like eye opening.
No question. He has to approach it like black people approach life in America. Like I got to, I got to go extra harder,
Extra.
extra harder, and be on top of my game 100%. I can't make no slip ups, and that's just how it's going to be. Unfair or not, this is how it's going to be for Rattler because Kellen Moore got his guy.
Yep.
Kellen Moore handpicked this guy. He was taken in the second round. It's unfortunate because people Rattler was picked in the second round, and people just look at it, oh, he's a fifth rounder. But he was
Yeah.
a quarterback with a lot of pedigree. Um, that was, it was a weird draft where you had six quarterbacks go in the top of the first round,
That's crazy,
and
bro.
yeah,
Crazy
and
number of quarterbacks in round one, bro.
crazy number. And on top of that, just historically, you don't see a lot of quarterbacks go in the day two. Like it's just not a lot. They usually either go top of the first round in the first round or day three. Like not a lot of quarterbacks go historically in day two just because of the way teams build. Because teams feel like, okay, day two, I got to get my guard, I got to go get my tight end, I got to go get my wide receiver, something like that. They need a instant impact player. They ain't got no
Right.
time to be getting no developmental quarterback. So they usually wait for day three for those guys. And that's what Rattler felt at. This year was a weak quarterback class. So a lot of guys it was a very pick your favorite type of flavored ice cream type of draft.
Mm-hmm.
Shough went in the second round. If Saints didn't take him there, who knows? Maybe he would have went in the third. Maybe he would have went in the fifth. Who knows? So just throw round out the way and just look at the actual talent of the quarterback. Rattler, is a big arm quarterback with a ton of experience, been through a ton of adversity in college. Got demoted, switched teams, all that stuff. Played behind bad old offensive line. Showed a lot of resilience. Shough, big on quarterback, ton of adversity in college, ton of injuries. Made plays, did good well at Louisville. It's like a great room, bro. Like it's a great room to battle it out. And for
Mm-hmm.
Rattler, he's going to like that going 8 for 8 into 7-on-7, and just being quick minded. And here's the thing that why second year quarterbacks, specifically quarterbacks, have the upper hand. When you're a rookie, you spend half of the year coming off your college season prepping for the draft.
Yep.
Now don't know what team you're going to, what schemes. You finally get in the camp. You're behind the 8 ball. You're just
Mm-hmm.
swimming upstream. You're just
Yep.
trying to make some kind of impact and figure it out. Rattler been through all that already.
Yep.
He been working on what he learned from year one, the positives and negatives, and be able to improve upon the things that he needed to work on already, and then go into camp thinking, okay, I checked this off. I need to read defenses better. I need to get the ball out quicker. I need to work on my footwork. Da 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 da. He's already got a chance to improve these things. Where Shough, he's just finding out what can he do, what can he do in the NFL right now. He's like just swimming, bro. So it makes sense that Rattler would be ahead right now. How long can he keep that gap is
Right.
going to be the question, because he's going to have to keep the gap if he wants to win a job.
And I think if you haven't listened yet, and I think most people have because it's our most viewed episode on YouTube. But if you haven't seen the Mina Kimes episode, her point that she made in regards to just the pressure, right? Because that's Tyler Shough as a prospect, that was his biggest one of his, if not his biggest ward of him kind of being allergic, not being kind of him being allergic to pressure when pressure was brought. If I'm Kellen Moore, if I'm whoever, like that's something I wanna see sooner rather than later of how
Yeah.
he responds to pressure, whether that be joint practices, during training camp, preseason games, but even then you don't typically get, depending on, you don't get a lot of pressure necessarily in preseason games necessarily. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out and see how much of, if Rattler continues to play at a very high level, and let's say Shough, I'm not saying he even plays bad. Let's say he has a decent to good training camp, but Rattler has a very good training camp, of how much where Tyler got drafted, who he got drafted by, and the fact that the GM wants him to start, which is so weird. Well, I won't say that's weird so much from a GM standpoint, because I've heard a lot of stories over these last couple of years that it's you hear things where ownership gets involved. I remember hearing a story with the Jets when they had went on the heater a little bit when Robert Saleh was the head coach, and Zach Wilson had gotten hurt, and they went on a little heater with the backup quarterback. I'm blanking on his name. Mike something? No, I don't know.
Mike, what's it?
I can't remember. But he was spicy for a couple of games. He had him playing a little decently, and Robert Saleh wanted to was it Mike White? No,
I think it was Mike White. Huh?
Yeah, that feels about right. Yeah, I thought it was Mike. Okay, so yeah, he went on a little heater, and Zach Wilson got healthy, and Robert Saleh wanted to continue with Mike White because he felt like at that point he was giving the team the best chance to win. Blah blah blah, and ownership came in, and like the owner of the Jets and was like, "No, Zach Wilson's healthy. We are going to play Zach Wilson," and that's exactly what they did. So Mickey Loomis's power, GM in name, but he essentially oftentimes makes decisions as if he is an owner. The fact that he wants Tyler Shough to start, and I've heard that for him not to start, he has to look bad. Like he has to look bad. And we're already hearing positive reports, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that, the bomb to Shaheed with on the pump, the pump fake and a 50-yard bomb to Shaheed. Those are great. So it's just going to be such an interesting an actual real quarterback competition. And it is handicapped for Shough. It absolutely is. It is tipped in his favor.
No question.
And Rattler's not dumb, bro. Like he absolutely understands that.
Oh yeah, man. You watch his interviews. He's been through this. He know what's up. he know how this goes. He said it himself. He said he expected them to draft a quarterback this year because he knows he didn't do enough that last year
Right.
to take doubt away from them. You know what I'm saying? He didn't put enough on tape to where whatever coaching staff comes in would be like, oh no, we good at quarterback. He just didn't, and that's as somebody who was rooting for Rattler. He just didn't, and he knew what he has to do. But at the end of the day, he knows that this is a great opportunity for him. Like once he saw that Carr was not coming back, he knew that like I'm one step closer to getting that starter job
Right.
solidified. No, it's not locked in. No, it's not handed to me. That's fine. But give me the opportunity to go and get it. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully he gets a fair opportunity. That's all I want. I don't care who gets it. Like, if as long as it's one like outright
Right.
and they look good. Like that's all I really care about. But you know, like I understand some Saints fans just really rooting for him, and you know, and it's like the whole underdog thing. You know what I'm saying? He is the underdog
Yeah.
right now because I mean it's Shuck's jobs to lose. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So it's gonna be so fascinating, bro.
I will bring up this good point. Shout out to Derek L, who recently became a new Patreon, but also just became a new SBP YouTube member in this episode. Got a little up. Appreciate you, Derek.
Derek.
When he joined, his spelling of Derek is the same way of Derek Carr, and Bajan was kind of was rizzing him about that.
What up, Derek? You up in there, bro? Stay out, Derek.
Let me take a little test drive in the whip though. Just
in that Rolls Royce,
roll it around the block real quick. I will say this point, and it kind of goes into my next point when we're talking about the O-line. Something that gives me a little more calm about Kellen is as a football mind, I now have a better sense of like when he sees something that makes sense, he goes with that. And so I have a feeling that if he sees consistently throughout OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason games, that Rattler has the advantage in the competition over Shough, I tend to lean that's because if he feels like Rattler gives him a better chance to win games to start the season, regardless of who he drafted in the second round, I have a feeling that he would just play Rattler because that just makes the most football sense. And I say that because the biggest news that came out of the OTA reports on Thursday was the shuffle on the offensive line. Kelvin Banks Jr., the rookie at left tackle. Trevor Penning at left guard. Fuaga at right tackle. If you go back and listen to our episode, like we had match quarters, Field Vision's own Cody Alexander on this podcast, recapping the draft class with us, and I put it on our TikTok and I put it on Twitter yesterday. He pretty much called it. He said this now gives us, when he was talking about the Banks selection, he said this allows, Penning to move to guard because he's a mauler. And if you go back and listen to a lot of things that Cody says, like, and now shout out to Cody Alexander, he has his own podcast, Let's Talk Ball. One of the greatest like football minds to just we've been able to kind of got to know and like personally like speak to and know his mind for football is off the charts. But he predicted the Penning move. Our dude London, who's been a member of this group for a very long time, has been screaming it for years. But the point I want to hit, in my friend hit me up when the news came out, is they said that when Banks got drafted, and we talked about this on the podcast as well, the Saints did not have a plan of where he was going to play. They had no clue. He was a great offensive line prospect, great left tackle prospect. Didn't know if he was going to play left tackle, left guard. They had no clue. But Kellen Moore during that rookie mandatory, like the rookie mini camp, when the rookies first get drafted, in the couple of days that they have with the rookies, saw how well Banks looked at left tackle and said, "I've seen enough. We're not going to do this moving around. We're not going to switch him around." He played left tackle in the SEC at Texas for 3 years, had damn good tape, and I saw him in person, him come in even as a rookie, and it's like it's a rookie, you know, mandatory mini camp. I've seen enough. He's going to be our left tackle at rookie. Fuaga's going to go to right tackle, pinning left guard, and he made that decision, and that to me was so eye opening to hear that he had that conviction by seeing it, and was told, like, if it was DA still running this show, we'd have Kelvin Banks Jr. moving all over the offensive line.
All over, bro. You already know, bro. Oh, well, we're just gonna try to find the right combination. Blah blah blah. It was very promising, man. Very promising to hear like Kellen Moore just to start to see, his vision and implement his vision, and
Yep.
that he has a vision. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
this, because so much of it, like his pressers up to this point has just been kind of blah, just like okay, a lot of coach speak, a lot of whatever. But like the presser he did after the OTA, I was
It,
just
it
saw a
was
little something
different,
different.
bruh.
He was just
It was
just had a
different.
little more onto him, so you could tell he's a football guy. He's finally. Am I still on? I got a little internet connection error.
No, you're good.
I'm good. Okay. You could tell he just had a little more oomph. He got to watch some football. He's starting to, get those juices flowing and stuff like that, and implement his vision. And look, it's a good vision, bro. Like we'll see what happens with. 'Cause the biggest question there out of that whole combination is Trevor Penning. Like here we go again. Another year is the question. Trevor Penning went from left tackle to right tackle. Now he's at left guard. How is he going to handle that? I have no idea about that transition. Theoretically, it should be simpler because you're going to have protection on both sides of him. So he should only have to worry about, handling his little responsibilities. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? But
Tons.
he won't have to deal with that edge speed, which has been his Achilles
Bugaboo,
heel,
bruh.
bugaboo. He just can't deal with the speed on the edge. He won't have to deal with that. Now he's going to have to deal with a lot of like, stunts and blitzes and all kind of stuff coming on. You got to be very smart and you got to work in tandem with your center and your tackle. We'll see if he could do that, but just to at least start it now, like start that process now and get him acclimated to see where you're at. Because if, big old if, like capital if that works out and he's like just a average, like a slightly above average guard, and you got your booking left tackle and your booking right tackle and your stud center, and then, got Cesar Ruiz over there. Got something, bro. Like I'm just saying, and it's crazy because I saw a video. Maybe you should put it up. I saw a video from last year after the draft when we selected Fuaga, and we talk about the O line just like this. Like, damn, you put Penny on the right side, he solidifies the right side. You got Fuaga on the left, blah blah blah. Here we go again, bro. Here we go again. Maybe they hit it this time. Maybe.
Time is a flat circle, bro. Time is a flat circle. We're still gonna do we haven't started our prospect of the week episodes, which are only gonna be Patreon.
I don't know if we ever gonna do that shit.
We are. We told the people we would, and I think our Patreon only and YouTube members will appreciate a breakdown of the draft class. But I'll say this openly, and I've said it in our Discord, is that we don't break down O-line, like we kind of refuse to during the draft process. It's just something we don't do. But the bit of what I have seen of Banks, because I've watched a bit of him after he got drafted, is just in a vacuum. To me, he's a better tackle prospect, regardless if you're talking left or right. Just in the vacuum, I think he's a better tackle prospect than Fuaga was coming out, which I think is high praise, especially when you consider how well Fuaga played at left tackle last year when he was not, he's naturally, has always played, or not always, but predominantly played right tackle in his career. So I think that's high praise to Banks and his potential. And I think you hit on the points of Kellen Moore of his presser yesterday, kind of having more oomph and having more, I won't say attitude, but just having more identity, is because I think he's seen this team and he's seen this identity of this team being molded into his team, and he's seen what he has in this team, and he's like, oh, all right, oh shit, I might have a little O line here. Okay, all right, got a little O line, and okay,
and it's his time to shine also, because the February through April is the executive time. It's the scouts, it's the GM,
yep.
It's their time. Yes, the coaches get involved and stuff like that, but it's the front office time of the offseason.
Yep.
It's the coach's time, not bro. This is coaching season. You teaching, you scheming, you drawing up the playbook, you're curating the entire workflow of what goes in. As soon as the player walks in, you go here, you go there during practice, you work over here, you work over there, you get training over here, you work on, lifting and strength conditioning. All of this is your design. Like, as the head coach, you design all of this. And this is what's being implemented now. So obviously he's going to get, he's starting to feel like, okay, this is my show now. This is the Kellen Moore show. This is my time to shine. So you can see it, bro. Like, he even had a little spice in it. He was like, I don't care. He was like, I don't care. I really don't care about right tackle, left tackle. It doesn't matter. Like, edge rushers, they look for matchups. He was like, he went to Fuaga, said, you going to play right tackle. Fuaga said, cool. Because Fuaga's like, okay, I played it for 3 years in college. Like, man, like, this is what I do, bro. So it just makes sense. I love when things just make sense. Like, it's like, I hate so many times with the Saints. It's like, why are you doing that? Like, what? How many times we got on here? Like, what? Like, what? So just do things that make sense, man.
In this offseason, they've done a lot of things that haven't made sense, but have gotten very lucky to
as hell.
In a way that, like, from an outsider's perspective, it's like, oh, well, then it actually does make sense. I'm not. This is not the episode to, like, rehash it, but, like, if you just look at it from afar, like, the amount of shit they did this offseason. When I say they, I'm really meaning, like, Mickey Loomis, right? Yeah. Like, just insane for them to be where they are. They have cap space. They're gonna have more cap space after it processes June 1st for Derek Carr and I don't know if Ramchek's but they're gonna have more cap space after June 1st after that processes, and then potentially they're gonna be out of salary cap hell for in 2027. Like, the biggest thing for this team going forward, and it's because it's been their hugest bugaboo the last couple of years, can you self-scout? Can you draft well?
Huge, bro. Oh my God, huge. And they need this class. They need this class to be something, bro. You drafted 9 players. Like, you gotta walk out this class with at least 4.
I was thinking 4. That was the number.
At least 4, like, good players, man. Like, good. No, maybe not be, they're going to be stars. I don't see any stars. We'll see with Shough. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's the major pick. But the other players, like, man, you got to get at least 4 good players, man. Because if you do next year, then you could really, will we get juice finally? Will we finally get some juice?
What if I told you this? All right. This is like best worst case scenario. What if I told you with Banks, they got their next Teron Armstead minus his injury history, minus his nagging injury history, but with Shough, they got Davis Mills.
That'd be we pick the top 5, baby. Give me my quarterback.
They would have bookends. Like, they would have bookends, bruh. And and this is not me trying to throw Tyler Shough. This is just like a complete hypothetical. If anyone's listening to this, it's like, oh, the Saints Block Party podcast already wants Tyler Shough to fail. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying, like in that situation, if I could give you that, if that was what it ended up being, right? Not many, like if you had your bookends, you literally could just drop your top 5 quarterback pick next year, just boom, bro.
Let's go. Boom. Let's go, baby. It'll be interesting. I keep thinking, like, what would a successful Tyler Shough season have to look like for them to
not take
a quarterback? Like, what if he has like a Mac Jones rookie year type seasons?
Oh, that's tough, bro. Because that like
that was a good rookie season, but
that was an impressive rookie season,
right? But it wasn't like, wow, this guy is like
no
Jaden Daniels or something. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. It was like, well, this is a good pick. You know what I'm saying? Good quarterback pick. It'd be interesting because I could see Saints being stuck in a quandary like that. You know what I'm saying? Picking like 7th overall. You know, you had a nice rookie season from Shough, but not like completely blown away. You know,
that's the thing.
Rattler looking kind of good too. He's like, so you got 2 quarterbacks, or do you really need to take one? Oh, I could just see it being one of those things where we just talk about ad nauseum.
Oh, hashtag soon. What I was told, one of the worst things that could happen for the Saints, this upcoming season, if Rattler plays so well, whether like leading up to the starting season, even through the season, that like Tyler Shough doesn't see the field like that.
Yeah, man. Oh.
Like I was told that would be such a bad indictment for like the Saints, because that means like, I don't want to say like the scouting was bad, but like you invest like a top 40 pick in a quarterback, and he comes in and he doesn't start. And I'm not saying like, and we saw like Rattler didn't play well last season, but he also like, if you like watch football, like he was put in like the worst position that I don't know. I've watched a lot of football in my life. It was dreadful, bro.
Dreadful, man. Like it wasn't even close. But it'd be. I wonder in that situation. It depends how it plays out. Like, is it because Rattler's like playing so fucking good, like he's just outstanding?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, man, we can't bench this guy. Or if it's like Rattler's playing okay, but man, Shough's so bad, we just can't put him out there. Like right. That would be the worst one. That would be the worst.
But you know what, man? Like, as someone who was not a fan of Shough as a prospect, he got drafted. He has done all the right things, and so even I'll tell you, this is something that I really love seeing. Rattler posted something to Instagram. It's the little shit like this. Like, it doesn't seem like it matters, but like in the totality of like sports psychology and little shit, it absolutely does. He posts something to Instagram. Spencer Rattler does. Tyler Shough comments on it, giving it props. Mm. You go back to all of Rattler's posts last year. I don't know if you'll find any Derek Carr post on his Instagram. You go back to Michael Thomas's rookie season, where he was racking up accolades and looking like an offensive rookie of the year that year. It always stood out to me, like Brandon Cooks was like nowhere in these celebrations when he was getting touchdowns. Like he was heading towards the sidelines as soon. Then it comes out that he was kind of jealous of kind of being like the clear out guy, and he was kind of like, and then he requests a trade. Closed mouths don't get fed when the team was like winning. All that little like it matters. It absolutely matters in a team sport. It's a team sport.
No question. And it's, the quarterback is always put in a funny position, especially with a competition, because those are your teammates. You know what I'm saying? You want to support them, but you like, they're in a real competition.
Yes.
Real competition with like jobs and money on the line. You know what I'm saying?
On the line, bro.
So it says a lot for him to be like, and look, they know each other from the quarterback circuit in Arizona. They both came up around the same time. And it's gonna be interesting, man. Like I hope they work well together, and I think they are. But you can see in Spencer Rattler's face, bro. Like
Ooh,
he
he
been
dialed in,
locked
bro.
in, dialed in since day one, bro. He coming for that neck, just like I've been saying. Just that Tom Brady story about when he came back that next year to New England. He was like, man, I'm taking that job from uh,
Oh, Drew
uh,
Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe. I'm coming to take it. I'm coming to take that motherfucker. And that's just how Rattler, like that's how he's approaching it. And that's how he should. But look, I'm not Shough, look, Shough, he gonna bring it, bro. And
Oh yes. Oh
just
yes.
like Mina Khan's talked about. It's gonna look good in practice too. I'm not like
Mm-hmm.
once we get to training camp.
That arm gonna be like, ooh, Shut got that. Got that
I'm
arm.
telling you, bro. So I can't wait till preseason games and some of those joint practices if they have them. We'll see if they have one versus the Chargers.
I
Oh,
would
I
I would
can't wait,
I,
bro.
I would love for them to have a preseason game, or sorry, a joint practice against the Chargers that would actually like be open, because that's what I want to see, because that's the type of defense that I want to see the Saints
Jim
go against,
Harbaugh and Jesse Minter,
bruh.
man. Come on, man. Give me
Um,
that.
couple of other notes as we wrap up. You mentioned this in the Discord of the reporting from Jeff Duncan, that one thing that was just noticed on Thursday when the media had access to see OTAs was just the organization and how well organized uh, OTA practice was. Something else I think even Ross Jackson had mentioned, not in the organization, of just the vibe of the practices and everything. I need a 30 for 30. I need I need a deep dive expose of the 2 years the Saints had under Dennis James Allen. I need it, bro.
Telling you, bro. Like certain things, just like when I'm reading these reports, I look for that just kind of stand out. And early in DA's tenure, certain things just was like, huh? It's like, oh, it was a laid back atmosphere. Like, but they color it in a positive light. But they'll be
Mm,
like, everybody's so relaxed and chill. I'm like, relaxed and chill. Like you taking over a new team. It shouldn't be no chilling. Like I needed fiery up in there. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like to hear that, Jeff Duncan talk about how organized it was. It wasn't a lot of like mistakes going on. It was just like very much like like a production line. Just boom, boom,
mm,
boom. Everybody getting their work in. A lot of teaching going on. Boom, boom, boom. Organized. That says a lot about Kellen Moore because he's the one that has to structure all that.
yeah,
And you got to make sure it's running like a well-oiled machine. And for it to be like that early, like it's
early.
still very early in the process, that just shows that maybe he has some organizational talent. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Which is a huge part of
Huge.
being a good head coach. Like these are the little things you don't know until a guy gets in the building. The scheming, the X's and O's and all that is fine, but these are the things that separate a good head coach from a bad one. And we'll see. We still got, we'll see what Kellen Moore is as far as like a head coach and everything. But these are just little positive signs that you take and be like, okay, good to hear. Good to hear. We're still looking to, hear some of the negative things that might pop up. We'll see. But so far so good, bro. Like it's rolling right now, man. And it's gonna be so interesting, bro. Just I said on Discord the other day, like it might be my bias, but it's just nice having an offensive head
Yeah,
coach again. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's because of so many years of Sean Payton.
Sean, I get it,
And,
bro.
yeah, but it's like the game. This is an offensive game, and it's so refreshing to have somebody at the top chair that views the game through the lens of the offense and the
Offense, yeah.
quarterback, offensive line, and stuff like that. Still, I'm still gonna keep complaining about the lack of juice until it's addressed, bro. Because that I don't care how you try to cut it. Oh, we got Cedric Wilson. Da, da, da. This goddamn wide receiver core need help, man. Like it
Help,
is
bro.
the lack.
Okay, I'm
It
glad
need
you.
juice, bro.
I'm glad you brought that up. Cause for one thing, I want to put out, and I tweeted it, because it was like a little running thing like last week. there are no active talks at all regarding Chris Olave and him being traded. There are none. There's none. Like none.
We didn't even cover it on the pod or nothing because it was just like
no. So who pointed it out? I think it was Doug Malton. Bless you.
thank you.
But someone pointed out that, and I think it was Doug Malton, that like the receiver room looked good from what they saw on Thursday, but that it's very small.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, it is. And however this plays out these next couple of months, I do think somehow the Saints will try to add a big body at wide receiver.
Man, we got Peoples Jones, man.
DPJ. Yeah.
People's Temple, baby.
Yeah. No, that's us. And I think I tweeted this. Like, there have been the softest. Like, I want to make sure I'm emphasizing the softest of minimal light reaching out. This was at this point probably like a month ago, maybe like a month ago, of reaching out between the Saints and Keenan Allen, because Keenan Allen wants to return back to LA and play. He only wants to play in LA, but right now it does not. There's no, like, the Rams, the Chargers. It really doesn't seem like there's a place for him where it's going to make sense for him to play in LA. And as you know, the Saints have cap space, and potentially maybe they could just offer him a contract that he's like, oh, you paying me that? Oh shit. So I think maybe as time goes, that may be something that happens. I don't know this 100%, but I do know there was the lightest of reaching out, and it seems like at the beginning, like way earlier in the process or earlier in the months, that interest was not mutual, and you see that you don't really got interest, or you want to play in a certain area and that interest isn't reciprocated, then you become a little more open to, like, okay, like, maybe, right? So we'll see. But let's say this team adds, I'm gonna go either Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, but I don't know. Him and Kellen just have a history in Dallas that he didn't like his play calling, so I don't just see that feasible. But let's say they add whatever you consider as another weapon in the wide receiver room. That's a bigger body. And let's say maybe they add Asante Samuel Jr. in the summer. You had them winning 5 games when we did the exercise. Wait, no, you had them winning 6.
6, yeah.
I had them winning 5. Does that change your win total for the team?
Let's say they brought in Keenan Allen and Asante. Probably doesn't. Probably it'll still be about 6. Because I still would have questions with this defense. And although I do think it would help offensively, I still got. I still feel like this team has a way to go. Am I still echoing?
No, you're good now.
Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't change much. Like anybody you're getting right now, June or whatever, I don't think it's enough to tip the win-loss line that much. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I would. So I have them at 5. I would probably have them winning one more game if they would add both, and I would bump them to like 6. Only just because, like, man, that depth in wide receivers, like, everyone's like, oh,
scary, bro.
Like, Bup means breakout season. Okay, like, do you remember, like, not a couple of, like, what was it, last year or 2 years ago? We were just like, oh, that A.T. Perry breakout season.
Let's go.
Like, have we not been here before? Like, I don't.
And everybody's been injured. Everybody.
Chris
Olave and Rashishi have never played a full season ever.
Did Chris Olave not play a full season his rookie season?
He missed like 1 or 2 games with some kind of injury. Right. Can't remember which one. But and that's not hoping to get injured. Obviously, I don't hope they get injured again. And they look good together. Like I've been looking at the Brandon Cooks still looks good, bro. Like Brandon
Quick,
Cooks looks
bruh.
quick.
Quick.
His hands have always been good. Always had good hands. So like he should be a productive receiver for them. Like I like the guys they got. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like they just need one or two more pieces. And maybe that's a Keenan Allen. Maybe Peoples Jones comes through and he's the guy. And, I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna come in and catch 90 balls, but maybe he could be like a MVS was last year. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
just comes in and does some productive things, some good things. Pettis, I thought he looked good last year. Hard to say what he'll be, if he could be a starter or anything, but so they have some guys, bro, and maybe they have enough in there just to have like a good piecemeal offense. But to me, like, man, if you're trying to make sure your young quarterback succeed, whether that's Rattler or Shough, like
Either one.
you got to have some dogs in there, man.
Right.
Like, and with the injury and the depth is what scares me the most. If everybody starts every game, fine. I think it's a
Sure.
fine group. But man, that's asking a lot. That's just asking a lot, bro.
And there are some teams I think are gonna have some, like the Texans are a perfect example, right? Who have a huge wealth of wide receivers. They drafted
Ton.
Jaden Higgins and his what's his teammate's name? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Uh,
Both Iowa State wide receivers in the draft, and they have a plethora of wide receivers. Green Bay has a plethora of wide receivers, and I think with Green Bay though you're gonna. So here's if I'm the Saints with smart team building. This is what you have to be careful and selective. I wouldn't be out there trying to trade any type of valuable pick for a wide receiver
no.
because you still may be picking top 10 next season. So you need your picks. But in terms of claiming claiming a player or whatever, but all that depends on like rules, how long they've been playing in the season, and like the order of like the draft or whatever. But like claiming players who get cut, like 'cause there's going to be some cuts that it happens every year that like opens
Every
out
year.
like this player got cut, this player got cut. But that's where I'm at with the team. Let's wrap this up. We focus exclusively all offense. We have not talked about the defense one bit on this podcast. So last couple of minutes, anything from OTAs defensively.
Well, I mean, just like all this stuff, from the offensive perspective, be like, oh, Rattler went 8 for 8, Shough went 7 for 8. Ooh, nice. Defensively, like, damn, y'all was getting diced up, huh? Shit. Like, damn. Like, I know there's no paddings. I know there's like a no contact and all that stuff, but damn, y'all was getting diced up, huh? So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means anything regarding the defense, but we know that this is a cornerback room that is you hoping gets better. Like you hoping it's young. Quincy Riley, he's hurt right now. He's covering some kind of injury. He should be ready to go come training camp, but he's behind the 8 ball right now.
Right.
Kool-Aid, we'll see. Alante Taylor is like the leader of the defense right now. Like
Oh my
that's
god.
scary. That's scary. Like,
Oh my god, bro.
like the dude that wasn't logging into his little iPad, like him. He lead the defense right now. Look, more power to him. Hopefully, he's turned the corner, but whew, I'm worried about that defense, bro.
Bruh. We're weed. We're weed. We'll yeah. And that's something as a young quarterback, second year player, rookie, don't matter, man. You go out there, you have a nice little drive, you go out there, you put 7 points up, good job, offense. We did our job. Your defense go out there. Just open the legs, bruh. No resistance.
I just ask, can we please just be decent against the run this year?
Please. And I will say, all the resources that has went to fix that this offseason, they traded for Gottschall. They drafted Vernon Brighton, Danny Schutzman. It gotta be, bruh.
Gotta be, bro.
It gotta
Because
be.
I just, well, when you can't stop the run, that is just a that's just a deflating feeling. Because it don't matter. It's just like
And watching it with the guys and with the people in the community, bruh, when all other offense got the ball and they just getting 7-8 yards a clip on the ground, bruh, that's just like, oh, it's one of these games, huh? Oh, it's one of the. This is what we doing. This is what we gonna watch, right? It gotta be better, bruh. It gotta be better. And hopefully, with they really want to try to shore up that nose tackle position. They really want to put more mass in the middle. I know he's had a regression his last 2 seasons, but will the real Pete Warner please stand up?
Please.
You got paid last. You got paid last offseason for reasons I still don't know why. No one's still explained to me why he got paid. Bruh, go. If he can play closer to his level when he was a rookie in his second year, then we talking. Then you talking. But that we'll see, bro. If this defense could be very similar to how the Arizona Cardinals defense has been the last season and a half, as Patrick Claybon has nicknamed them the search bar defense, where you don't even like, who the fuck is these guys?
It's a perfect name for them.
I'll search these niggas up. Perfect, because bro, you watch that Arizona defense, you don't know who them niggas are. Who? And we love football, like we some sickos. No idea.
I remember the preseason game last year. I was like, God damn, this defense flying around. Who the hell are these guys? If Brandon Staley could give us that,
huge, bro. But anyway, that is all for us. We just wanted to get on here, talk about football again, talk about the Saints again, OTAs. There's another OTA practice that's happening on Tuesday. And so just again, for everyone to know our upcoming schedule. So Monday, if you're not a Patreon and if you're not a YouTube member, the Jane Slater episode will come out Monday morning. I say this with no hyperbole. In the 5 years of doing this podcast, it's for sure one of the best episodes we've recorded. It's an amazing episode. Great insight into the Derek Carr situation. Great insight to just Kellen Moore as a head coach. So that's dropping Monday morning. And then Tuesday evening, we will be recording with ESPN's Catherine Terrell, talking about, I have a question for Catherine regarding the Carr situation, but talking to her about the Derek Carr situation, talking to her about, what she saw from OTAs and just her thoughts of the team going forward. And because we haven't talked to KT in quite a while. So, so that's what's on deck. So still a lot of content coming your way. If you want to be ahead of everybody and be caught up with all of our content, patreon.com/SlankSparkParty, or you become a youtube.com member. It's already, all those episodes are already up and loaded in HD high quality definition. We'll be back on Tuesday with Captain Terrell. Monday, Jane Slater episode dropping. With that, we are getting out of here. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. With that, we are out.
Peace.